Dear God, thank you for Boz. He was the only thing I wanted for Christmas. And when he came into the room with a bow on him, it was the best day of my life. Mom said that the only reason we got Boz is because I promised to take care of him. And I did for the first few weeks, in all kinds of weather. But when school started up again, well, it wasn't easy. And sometimes I forgot. I'm not going to write it because, well, it's just a lot tougher to take him for walks every single day. I wasn't doing what Mom trusted me to do. Then she helped me make a chart. It really helps to see what gets checked off every single day. I know I can do this. Boz is a great dog. God, thanks for helping me and Boz do this together. Uh-oh, gotta go. Read.
Hey, good morning, boys and girls. Happy New Year! It is 2021. So excited to be back with you this week, the week of January 10th for virtual kids worship. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Your new year is off to a phenomenal, awesome start. We are back, virtual kids worship. Sorry I couldn't be with you guys last week. Pastor Eric was on vacation, but I'm back with you this morning. I'm back with you for the next however long. We'll be together for a while. This month, we're talking about responsibility. Responsibility is showing you can be trusted with what is expected of you. So last week, we talked about love God, love others. This week, we're going to talk about sharing. Now, you've probably heard sharing means caring. That's something we learn from when we're little kids until we get older and older and older. Sharing means caring. Well, today we're going to look at Luke chapter 12, and we're going to see a parable that Jesus told about a rich guy who was really focused on the wrong thing. He was a successful farmer, and his land, it was producing lots and lots of crops. So he decided to build bigger and bigger barns so he could store all this stuff up. Now, he might have had a lot for himself, but he failed to think about other people and how he could have helped them instead of just himself. Why don't we check out our story from this week and see what Luke chapter 12 has to tell us?
The Bible, it's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 12, verses 13 through 21.
Everywhere Jesus went, large crowds followed him. Some really wanted to learn and change. Some were just curious. Others, like the religious leaders, listened to Jesus' words so they could trap him with tricky questions. But there were some people who just wanted Jesus to back them up, to tell them that their way was the right way. One of these was a man, we'll call him Ezra.
Teacher! Hey! Teacher!
Ezra's demand was loud enough that everyone stopped talking to look at him.
Are you gonna let me through or what?
Ezra shoved through the crowd, dragging another man behind him, his brother.
Teacher, you've got to tell my brother here that he has to divide the family property with me.
Ezra's brother looked like he wanted to sink straight into the ground. Jesus turned to Ezra.
Friend, who made me judge or umpire between you?
People listen to you. I thought you could, just settle this. Tell my brother I'm right.
Watch out. Be on your guard against wanting to have more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has.
That is not what I asked.
Jesus didn't argue with the man. Instead, he told a story, a parable. If he had told this story today, it might sound just a little something like this. There once was a rich man whose field grew a fantastic crop of grain. Perhaps it was corn. His manager brought him the good news.
Sir, we're set to bring in a bumper harvest of cobs and kernels.
Yes! Go me!
Oh, well, your employees did an excellent job of preparing the fields.
Go me!
And there was a lot of sunshine.
Go me!
And just the right amount of rain.
Go me!
Yes, go you.
Harvest the crop at once!
Well, we're working on that. There's just a little problem.
Problem? Who messed up? Fire them at once!
Oh, no. It's a good problem. You don't have enough barn space to store all your grain.
Huh. I'm just too successful. Go me.
Well, I was thinking you could share some of the grain.
Share it.
Well, yes. Some extra bushels for your employees, maybe give some of it away, popcorn for all the kids in town, hold a cornbread festival for everyone.
But it's all mine.
Oh, yes, it is.
I know. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I can store up all the extra grain for myself.
Oh.
See to it. I want those new barns up by the time the corn harvest is in.
Yes, sir.
The old barns were torn down and brand new, bigger barns were built.
Perfection. Is the corn harvest complete?
Yes, sir. All finished.
Excellent. Have the men store it all in these new barns immediately.
But they're so tired.
I said immediately.
Yes, sir.
At last, the rich man's entire corn crop was stored in his shiny new barns. He settled back in a comfy deck chair and surveyed his property as the sun set.
Go me! Self, you've done pretty well for yourself. You got grain stored away for a lot of years to come.
He popped a gourmet corn chip into his mouth.
Self, take it easy. Eat, drink, and live it up.
You foolish man.
The rich man nearly choked on his chip.
Excuse me?
The rich man looked around, but he could see no one. He was entirely alone.
Oh, great. Is this supposed to be some God moment where I discover what I've been doing wrong?
That's exactly what it was.
You foolish man. Tonight I will take your life away from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself?
Could we come up with a different ending to this story?
But there was no way out for the rich man. He had chosen to focus only on what he could keep for himself. Jesus wrapped up his parable by explaining,
That is how it will be for whoever stores things away for themselves, but is not rich in the sight of God.
We don't know how Ezra responded, but maybe, just maybe, he started worrying less about getting more of his family's stuff. Maybe he started to care a little more about sharing what he did have with his brother.
Hey, boys and girls, welcome back from our story. Hope you guys really enjoyed that story about Luke chapter 12. Let's check out our bottom line one more time. Share what you have. Let's say it again together. Shout it really loud, your outside voice. Share what you have. Sometimes we are on the receiving end of somebody else's generosity, where they give us things and help us with things that maybe they didn't have to do that. But other times we get to show responsibility by sharing and being generous with others. When we realize that God has given us everything we have, we are more likely to share with others. My prayer for you, boys and girls, this week is that you recognize that. One, God's given us everything we have. Everything from our t-shirts, to our watches, to the air we breathe, to our churches, to our houses, to technology, to the food we eat, computers, you name it. All of these things God has given us. And maybe because God has given us all of those things and we recognize that He's done that and how generous God has been with you and me, we will in turn be generous with other people too. Let's check out our memory verse for this month and get a little practice in for that. Check it out, read it. It's right here on the screen for you. Suppose you could be trusted with something very little. Then you can also be trusted with something very large. That's from Luke chapter 16, verse 10. Let's say it again. Suppose you can be trusted with something very little. Then you can also be trusted with something very large. Luke chapter 16, verse 10. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll be back next Sunday to be talking about working hard and more about responsibility. Don't forget, you can continue to follow us on YouTube and check out our previous episodes of Kid Connection. And we're working on our newest episode of Kid Connection. That will be out later this month, the 4th Monday of this month. And if you are looking to connect just a little bit deeper, we have a virtual life group that you can connect your kids with us from home if you're still joining us totally virtually. Shoot me an email here at the church and I can get you connected with those leaders, and your kids can dive a little bit deeper into what it means to have biblical responsibility. Boys and girls, encourage your mom and dad to do that if that's something you'd be interested in doing. Hope you guys again have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week for Virtual Kids Worship. Until then, God bless you guys.